Hey everyone, Eugene here, back again with another video. This time I'm coming to you from China, of all places. Never ever imagined I'd end up in China one day, but here I am. Work has sent me just to follow up on some projects we have with a company we do business with here. So I'm in a town. It's a huge city of about 15 million people called Dongguan, just north of Hong Kong, where I landed. About an hour and a half car drive. So I feel kind of lucky to be getting paid to travel the world and put up in these really fancy hotel rooms. But it is a little bit of a culture shock. Just kind of ordering dinner or simple things like paying for bottled water. I don't speak any Chinese, and nobody here speaks much English, so when I'm ordering dinner, I just kind of got to point to a picture on the menu and say that's what I want, and have the servers laughing at me. But it is quite comical. Anyway, I've only brought one fragrance with me here in China. I just didn't want to carry a whole lot with me, but the one fragrance happens to be Habit Rouge Eau de Toilette, just because it's really warm and muggy here. It's about 25 and quite humid, so I think Habit Rouge is actually quite perfect for this kind of weather. It's got a nice, refreshing eau de cologne, citrusy opening, and a leathery vanillic base. So it's not too heavy. It is more on the refreshing side with some depth. So it's the lone bottle that I've brought. Other than that, I have brought up just kind of the some bags of samples or junk that I can, try for fun. If I don't feel like wearing Habit Rouge without having to bring up a whole ton of bottles with me. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to make this video. I came home from work, and I'm not going out for dinner. I just kind of wanted to go to bed. But I was surprised to see that I was able to pick up some social media from my hotel room, even though I thought like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube was banned in China. I'm able to pick up my feed, albeit it's a little bit slow. So if I'm able to upload this video while I'm here to YouTube, I will. If not, I'll do it when I get back home. But I just kind of wanted to touch on the last video that I made, which was What's Up with Guerlain. I got a ton of feedback, and I just want to thank you all for watching. I can tell, obviously, my channel is growing, especially from when I started making videos till now. The feedback's getting bigger, the audiences, the viewership, the comments, the likes, everything's increasing and growing, and I can see just by the commentary, people are watching, and they kind of got the same views on Guerlain as I do. So I just kind of wanted to ask, I was going to save it till the end, but obviously you're going to see in the title above. Let's talk about, the Last Great Guerlain. We'll get to that in a bit, but before I do, there were some great comments left in the last video. So if you haven't watched it, I'm going to read them out here, and I'm going to kind of, touch on them a little bit. And if you have any other further comments, leave them down below. This is probably something that I'm going to do a little bit more often, especially when I see some good comments come up. So the first comment comes from Right Glory BG, which is which got a lot of likes. It got a shit ton of likes, and let's start with that one. And he says, "Do not worry, Eugene. Jeremy Fragrance is in the house now, smiley face. Obviously, Wasser decided to change the tactics, get the hype up and not the quality. Sad days for the brand. When I saw Jeremy Fragrance with Wasser, it put me off the brand big style. At the time I took this snapshot, it had 24 thumbs up." And I've seen my name attached to this kind of comment several times now on social media. I'm not bothered by it whatsoever. I was actually really glad I got to see the video, got to see inside of the factory. Obviously, Guerlain's going, they're trying to market their brand. take world domination with their perfumes and just get their name out any way they can now, especially with the signing of Angelina Jolie with their last major woman's launch. They just want fame. They just want to sell perfumes. It seems like just more into it than the art. So more into selling perfume than the art itself. Kind of sad, but you know, a major brand going this route where before they just let the perfume sell itself without having to spend heavily on marketing. But you know, by having him there, they don't have to spend a dime on marketing. It was just probably pay for his flight and hotel and let JF spread the news. You know, hopefully one day when I have 300,000 subscribers, I'll be invited to the factory as well, and I'd love to go. That's not something that I would turn down, and I wouldn't expect anybody to turn that down. So you know, I've got nothing bad to say really. I'm glad I got to watch the video. I'm glad that he made the video for us all. I'm sure we all enjoyed the video. Other than that, you know, I know y'all want me to say, and it's just not going to happen anyway. Next comment. I love Guerlain, but honestly, nothing released in the Wasser era makes me feel anything. Well made as they may be, top quality ingredients and all that, to be frank, they just don't have soul. They don't provoke any sensation nor invoke any kind of scenario or situation in my imagination. To me, they are utilitarian perfumes, very functional, but completely devoid of feelings and artistry. And he goes on about Chanel Dior. And this is coming from Mario Cardoso. And yeah, I know where you're coming from, and I agree with you. They do lack some soul. They are more mainstream. They're kind of what you would find in the department store or drugstore, like L'Homme Ideal, let's say the original Eau de Toilette. When I first smelt it, it instantly reminded me of Polo Red and Versace Eros. You know, just that heavy tonka, mentholated. It just wasn't anything that stood out for me. I was actually really disappointed when I smelled it the first time. Yeah, you know, and this about soul, yeah, they don't have soul. Like when you smell something like Shamad, the woman Shamad or Nahima or anything that's, you know, pre, let's say 1990, it just doesn't have any of that. You know, even go back to Heritage. Just no soul, you know. Totally agree with you. It's sad that they smell like a lot of other things that are out there. You know, even Mon Guerlain smells like 10 other perfumes that have been created before it. So that's just kind of what's happening now. Next comment comes, I don't know, I'm going to butcher the hell out of this name, Siak de Vries. Really funny avatar there, toothless guy. And he says, don't project your own feelings onto Wasser. He's a businessman. I'm sure he has enough influence in the company to at least release a few game changers. Maybe he's not as great as we like to think. Maybe he's surrounded by too many yes men praising all his work. He probably needs a kick in the arse. You're the right person to confront him, Eugene. Make Guerlain great again. I don't know if I'm the right person to confront him. I think a lot of my love comes for Wasser. Maybe it's a personal thing just by I've met Wasser 3 times now. I've got to sit down and talk to him and chat with him. And well, I think one time I spent almost an hour with him and Christo. I've heard him speak several times. So, you know, maybe a lot of the things that I review and talk highly of him do come more from a personal thing than an actual technical standpoint. Maybe his perfumes aren't as great, or his creativity isn't as great as a lot of us like to think. Like, you take a lot of his perfumes, a lot of them are flankers. So the original ideas aren't even his. They come like Shalimar, you know, he's created how many flankers for Shalimar? and the original he didn't create. It came 100 years ago. Dress code, a flanker he created for Habit Rouge, which came out in the 60s. Not his original concept. La Petite Robe Noire. La Petite Robe Noire has. I don't think he was the original creator, the creator of the original La Petite Robe Noire. God, I can't remember the name of the person. I think it was a female that created it. I want to say, I don't even want to guess, but I don't think he created the original. There's a Le Petit Robe Noir Model 1, Model 2. I think he might have done the Model 2. But, all flankers. So what has he created? Guerlain Homme, which is, citrus and mojito. It's decent fragrance. It's again well made, but doesn't have any soul. Doesn't excite me much. I'll wear it, to the gym or on a very hot, humid day in the summer. It's not something I would wear any time past, let's say the fall to late spring. So Guerlain Homme, you can take that right off out of their lineup and nobody would miss it. L'Homme Ideal is almost, it's just a notch better than Home, and L'Homme Ideal is his creation. It is his baby. Along with from the exclusives, you have the desserts d'Orient and the desserts absolutes, which are a different animal altogether. So I don't know. Is Wasser as great as we'd like to think? Let us know what you think. I do like a lot of his work. Most of my favorites do come from the exclusives, but a lot of us do enjoy the designer range as well. So great comment there. I know what you're talking about, Siak. Okay, next comment that stood out for me comes from Karine. Unfortunately, Guerlain perfumes are no longer as good as they used to be, which seems to be a common comment. Their new fragrances are okay, but will not become legendary like the old ones. They do not have the olfactive signature. I've been given Mon Guerlain and Le Petit Robe Noir, and they are so deceptive I don't even wear them. I just stick to my Shalimar and Vol de Nuit. Have a nice day. Yeah, if I were you, I would just stick to my Shalimar and Vol de Nuit as well. And true, I don't think that, what they are releasing today will ever be as legendary as some of the legends out there, especially when they're as common and they do have things that smell exactly like them. What's so legendary about them? They're just so simple and so like everything else. Chances are, no, Mon Guerlain will never become legendary because there are things that smell just like it and came out before Mon Guerlain. Even though I'm a big fan of Mon Guerlain, I wear it and I love it. What are the best must-have Guerlain scents? I'm into niche fragrances. I own a lot of Amouage, Creed, Roja, blah, 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 blah. I already own Angelique Noir and I love it. Give me 5 more of the best. I think I've answered this in the comments and I don't remember what I had wrote, but 5 of the best. I don't know if you can pick 5 of the best, but chances are I think I told him Jiki, Lure Bleu, Mitsuko. I'm not sure if I gave them all women's, or I could have said Habit Rouge. I could have said, I probably said Nahima. Welcome. Let me see if I can quickly find my answers here. So Jiki, Lure Bleu, Mitsuko, I would say, right off the bat, there's 3 great ones. Modern Shalimar, I'm not crazy about modern, like today's Shalimar. I've tried some of the older ones and they're sensational. I'd say Nahima. I'm a big fan of Nahima, the Big Black Rose. kind of green rose. You know, Chamud, the woman Chamud. Derby, let's say Derby is a great one. Habit Rouge. There, you know, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. Here's my answer. I found it. I told him Jiki Mitsuko, Lure Bleu, Nahima, Derby, and Songe d'un Bois d'été, which I'm a huge fan of, even though it's very modern. It's an exclusive, stinky, woody, dry woody, oud-based perfume. Okay, I think there's... Okay, my friend John states, Guerlain has been very disappointing, and this is coming from a huge Guerlainophile. They have not released anything worthwhile since mid-2015, which was the release of, I always butcher this name, Mais oubliez pas. Best to retreat into the comforts of collecting vintage Guerlain. I think there you will find your excitement and passion again. Okay, so he says Mais oubliez pas is the last great Guerlain, released in 2015. Sure, this could be the case, but this is a Paris exclusive, so it's not available to all of us. You know, it's great. Okay, they made this great, fantastic perfume. Comes in a gorgeous 125 ml Baccarat with a hefty price tag. I think it's well over 500 Canadian dollars. First of all, if you can afford it, you need to fly to France to get it. I don't think they ship it anywhere. I've asked the Toronto boutique several times if they can get this to come into the boutique. There's no way. If you want it, you need to go to France for this perfume. So. Sure, that's great that it's the last great Guerlain, but good luck getting your hands on it. Unless you're going to Paris, you know, the chances are slim to none. John actually let me try a sample from his bottle, and I agree, it's absolutely amazing. It's a stunning perfume. Troy Smith says, Troy is a frequent watcher and commenter. It has taken me a while to want vetiver. The opening is a challenge, but I love the way it dries down. The price is right too. And I fully agree. To me, vetiver is a very challenging fragrance, even though it shouldn't be. It's a very clean, crisp, versatile fragrance. I find the dryness, the tobacco note, quite challenging in a good way. Hopefully I can get over that because I think it's an absolutely brilliant perfume. One of the best vetivers ever created. And here is the last comment that I'm going to discuss that really stood out to me. Bruton Gaster. He goes on to say, I could go on at length on this subject, but for the sake of the reader's time, I will keep it short. The problem with Guerlain these days is that it's no longer Guerlain. Here we go again. They stopped being Guerlain in 2002. 2002. That's probably, he's referring to Jean-Paul Guerlain got fired. Or actually, he retired. And officially in 2002. And in 2010, unofficially, what happened in 2010. It's still Guerlain in name only. The soul of Guerlain is no longer with Guerlain. The good news is that the heart and the soul, or shall I say, Guerlain heritage is not lost, but it is alive and well. The legacy carries on in Patricia with Parfums de Nicolai. Patricia is the perfumer for Parfums de Nicolai, and she's somehow related in the Guerlain family. She's the niece to Jean-Paul Guerlain or something like that. The great niece, granddaughter. I'm not exactly sure. I don't follow the brand Parfums de Nicolai, but I probably should start looking into some of these perfumes because it's said that they do have some similarity to older Guerlains. Anyway, so with this comment, he says Guerlain stopped being in Guerlain in 2002 and something like 2010. It kind of made me wonder, like, what is the last great Guerlain that's been released? Like, we've got all these flankers and nondescript perfumes. I want to hear from you guys. I think for me personally, the last great, like really great Guerlain that I would say would be L'Instant de Guerlain. I'm talking about the men's specifically, Eau Extreme, the Eau de Parfum, which was spearheaded by oh man, her name is I'm forgetting her name completely. This is horrible. Sylvain Delacourt. She wasn't the perfumer, but she did look after it. Anyway, I think it kind of has some. It has some resemblance to Heritage from me, which was, you know, the last great Guerlain before L'Instant, which was created by Jean-Paul Guerlain, and that's kind of when Sylvain came on with Guerlain. Was when Jean-Paul Guerlain was creating Heritage. He kind of noticed Sylvain from a distance, and something attracted her to him, so he had called her over, and he literally gave her 3 strips like this, and he says, Sylvain, I am working on a new perfume. I'd like for you, you know, to smell these and tell me which of these do you like the best. So she took the strips and she kind of smelled them, and she handed him one back. And when he smelled it, he says, great choice. This is what we now know as Heritage. And from that moment, you know, he was kind of in mid-project, and he asked her to come on and help him finish Heritage. At the time, she was over in the makeup department. She knew nothing about perfume, had 0 training, and Jean-Paul Guerlain actually trained her. So I kind of see Lidge or L'Instant de Guerlain like some kind of precursor to Heritage. You know, it's very similar in that spicy patchouli theme going on. So that's what I would say for me is the last great Guerlain. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. What is the last great Guerlain? Could be anything, you know. It's your choice, your opinion, so I'm not going to argue it. But I'd love to hear what you think anyway. But that's it for now. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Almost hitting 23 minutes. It's gone way overboard. But we'll see you again soon.